Morning. It is match day. It is West Ham at home to Bournemouth, and I'm Gary. This is Chris. This is Bobby Moorstand, and we're going to leave pretty soon. I mean, a couple of hours anyway. A couple of hours for me, hour for you, innit? You're going to go over there and do a bit of shopping first. You said.
Yeah, I'm going to do the tourist thing, mate. I'm going to go down there, get a bit early, do a bit of shopping. Probably get disgusting. Probably get a bit of sushi today because I'm taking my daughter to the game. She loves sushi, so
sushi ain't a fucking match day thing. You don't need
mate. To be honest with you, my whole routine, everything about football these days is different. It is, and so yeah, I'm just taking my daughter out for the day. Obviously, Amanda's going to come as well because Fred's in Lanzarote. So, yeah, no, looking forward to it. Not the game, but looking forward to spending time with my daughter at the game. That's it.
Not
looking
forward to the game. Not looking forward to the game.
No, not in the slightest. What about you?
Me neither. Good morning, people in the chat. So this is a bit of a short notice afterthought, isn't it? We were going to do a preview last night, weren't we? But being completely disorganised, I went out and started jet washing the weeds out of my garden, with the intent of having it done in an hour and a half because I'm great at estimating. 4 hours later, my poor broken body, I had to pour it onto the sofa, covered in shit. Oh God, horrible. So look, this game today, I'm in the. You'll be glad to know I'm in the posh seats again. It's becoming a habit. It's as if, I'm getting all these invites to the posh seats. It's as if nobody wants to go to West Ham to watch West Ham this year, you know what I mean? Because
either that or you've got
there's lots of spare seats,
mate. Yeah. Honestly, either that or you've got an addiction to prawn sandwiches. I don't know. It's one of the two.
It could be that. It could be that. But either way, it always, I think for a game like today, I don't really look forward to this game. I've got to be honest. What about you?
No, I just said how I feel. I'm zero optimism at all. Always have some element of hope. You hope that West Ham are going to turn up and put on something that's worthwhile actually watching, that's relatively entertaining. But going by what we've been used to and accustomed to over the course of the last, it's not even the last couple of months, mate. It's for the last couple of seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I'm not looking forward to it. But you can always hope, and let's see what happens, mate. Let's see what happens. But after Tuesday's game, I'm still kind of a bit numb, to be honest with you.
Well, what usually happens with Bournemouth? I mean, I think we've drawn the last 7 games with them, something like that. I think the last 3 have been 1-1, because we tend to, they've got an amazingly dynamic press, haven't they? It's aggressive, and we ain't going to be able to compete with that. So we take the opposite approach, don't we? We sort of we sit off them and make them go long. That's what we tend to do. And it tends to, that's not what Bournemouth particularly want to do. But it does involve a man-to-man midfield, doesn't it? It does involve having, if we go in there with a 2-man midfield again, we're going to get destroyed. We're going to have to play 3, and it's very likely to be the 3. It's going to be Souček, Ward-Prowse, and Alvarez.
I don't think Ward-Prowse should start, Gal. Alvarez definitely needs to come in, but Ward-Prowse absolutely not. Honestly,
I'm with you. I'm just saying what I think will happen. What I think will happen is that those 3 just lately have been, when they played together, they've been adequate and safe. They've offered nothing in an attacking sense at all. Right? That is a holding. That is a 3-man holding midfield, really.
Yeah, it is, and again, I think if we do play that midfield, it's just going to fill me with kind of dread going into this, because, as I say, it just kind of almost nullifies our attacking threat straight away just by going with those 3 in the middle, because there's just going to be nothing, is there? There's going to be nothing. You're going to see Bowen dropping deep again. I don't know if Caduce's back, mate. I'm not sure about that.
Tadibo as well.
Yeah, Tadibo's back, isn't he? Though he's fine, right?
Is he?
I think so. Well, he was on the bench against Wolves, so I'd imagine that he should be okay. And I'm actually kind of, we spoke about the midfield. I'm hoping that we do play Fulkrug today.
We've got to start Fulkrug today. We've got to. I mean, I've said it before, and I know he's not everyone's preferred striker, right?
Yeah,
he's nobody's preferred striker, really, but he's the best we've got by a long, long way. And
which is saying something.
Yeah. and he always does something when he's on the pitch, right? Always makes something happen, whether it's get on the end of an unlikely half chance and hit the bar like he did the other night, play that lovely little ball through at the end. You know, he's one of those players that doesn't appear to do a lot, but then suddenly he'll do something quite incisive, right? And that's why people are not going to take to him, because he doesn't appear to do that much.
Well, he certainly appears to do a lot more than Evan Ferguson does. So, you know, really, I think he's got to be the default option, isn't he? Who else are you going to play?
He's got to be. He's a grown-up striker, a seasoned striker who does create stuff out of nothing. And in a game like this, we absolutely need that. We need to create something out of nothing, because you know, the standard tempo of this game and the pattern, the way this game usually plays out, it's a dull fest. It's a dull fest. It's even worse than usual. You remember the League Cup game earlier in the season, the 1-0. It was bloody atrocious.
Oh yeah. It's up there with many of the dull games I've seen this season and over the course of the last couple of seasons. In truth, it always is. I can't actually remember, as you pointed out, I can't remember a particularly exciting game against Bournemouth at the London Stadium. I can't. No, I really can't. It's just one of those games where you almost know that it's going to be a bore fest. And, you know, if you look at the statistics on this one as well, Bournemouth don't really concede too many goals. They don't. You know, I know they're on a bit of a barren run at the moment. I think they've got like one win or one draw in the last 5 games. Yeah, they've got a draw, one draw, and they lost 5 in the lost 4 in the last 5, and they've got a draw against Spurs, which is not exactly.
Who have they lost to? Who have they lost to? Anyone bad?
Oh, mate, now you're asking, aren't you? They lost to Ipswich last weekend. I know that much.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, they lost to Ipswich. They lost to Bright. Okay, so they lost to Ipswich. Hold up a minute. Hold up. I'll tell you they lost to. They lost to so they lost to Ipswich. They lost to Man City. Lost to Man City. Yeah. What's that?
No, Sid went to Wolves.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah, so they lost to Ipswich last game. They lost to Man City in the Cup, so just rule that one out as Cup game, 2-1. Yeah. Lost to Brentford, 2-1. Drew with Spurs, 2-2. Lost to Brighton, 2-1. Right. Prior to that, lost to Wolves, 1-0. I mean, they're on a real bad run, actually. They are on a bad run. But the one thing you can see that they're consistently good at is not conceding loads of goals, because when they typically lose a game, it's usually by 2 or 1. And you don't see them conceding, say, 3 or 4. Not that, of course, that's ever going to be a situation or a scenario with us, because we're never going to score 3 goals, are we? Right?
No.
Well, you never know, but I doubt it highly. So no, I mean, you know, I think statistically speaking, I mean, it's one of those games where, well, I mean, I'm looking at some stats here, right? I'm going to be a proper statter here. So Bournemouth this season, okay, if you look over the duration of this season, they average around about 17 shots per game. West Ham average 12 shots per game. I actually thought that's quite high. I don't think that's strictly true, but whatever. That's what it says here. They've got 49 goals, Bournemouth, so far this season. West Ham have got 33. They've scored 16 more goals than us. That's pretty significant. It is. And as you kind of pointed out already, Gal, right? If you look at their front 4, they are pretty dynamic. I think Justin Cliver, who's the other lad? Semenyo, who comes in off the left. They've got pace. And they've got a real threat up there. And I think even Evan Nilsson, he's doing all right at the moment as well. You know, there are goals in that team. There are definitely some goals in that team.
To combat this, we've got to play 4 at the back and have 3 in the middle, haven't we? We've got to have 3 in the middle.
Have to. Well, we have to have 4 at the back. We have to have 4 at the back. Because I know that some people say, when we say, we play 3 at the back, and some people are saying, it's not actually a 5, it's really a 3 because those wing backs get forward. Well, it's not, because typically we're playing so deep right now with that back 5 and with our midfield. So we can't play the 5, Gal. It's just
exactly. If we do what we did against Wolves the other night and basically have 2 against 3 that in the middle, that's just ridiculous. Especially when your 2 is the 2 we had. Right,
mate. Honestly, it was so bad. So I've not really spoken or done a live or anything since then, but I'm still fed up with that. I'm so fed up with that. It was such a bad performance, and I've seen some bad performances.
You're entitled, mate, that. You're entitled to be. You drove there, you got stuck in the car park afterwards, and then you got stuck in Wolverhampton town centre, didn't you? Trying to get home. It's a shithole to get out of. It really is. That place.
It is, and it's just. I keep saying this again and again, right? So I think from an attacking point of view, we lack that kind of that punch up front. That's obvious. But the other thing that kind of really speaks out quite loud to me, Gal, is I feel like there's a bit of a lack of effort in our team as well, because I also think that, I'm not saying the players are down tools and pack their bags or anything, but I do think that there's this element of the season's dead. So really, what do they have to play for? Nothing.
Yeah. But have you heard this? Have you heard this? What Steve Tiley's just said?
What's that?
Did you hear that apparently from next season, if you use swear words when singing at games, you could be looking at a lifetime ban. I've not seen that, Steve. I've not seen that, but it doesn't. It wouldn't surprise me if the FA have come out with some sort of crap like that. I couldn't imagine that's a West Ham thing, is it? I mean, it can't be a West Ham thing,
Well, they'd be banning everyone, mate. I mean, come off
swearing go together. I can't imagine they could ever enforce that. What's that? Because the TV viewers get offended or something by the nasty songs. I mean, fuck's sake, really? Yeah, Bodger, shut up. You're in my caravan, mate. Come on, behave yourself. Be upbeat.
Bodger in your caravan.
Moderator in my caravan. Yeah, there you go.
He's having a great time right now.
Yeah. So yeah, look, that is a really I mean, what bothered me the other day, I watched the game, I was quite angry afterwards, put a video out bloody 2:30 in the morning, which was grim.
It's a good video, mate, by the way.
Yeah, well, I just had to say something, because what happens with that sort of game is, for me anyway, when I get up in the morning, I just think, fuck talking about that. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Get it out of the way, get it done. Didn't want to make any more shows about it or anything like that. And I was having a little WhatsApp with John the KC, who's looking to not renew next year. And that's after a long time. He pays a lot of money for his tickets. Right? And there's a couple of others that he goes with who are not buying their prawn sandwich. Not that they're prawn sandwich seats anyway. They were last year, but they're like above our tier anyway. They're expensive, and I suspect there are a lot like that. And the thing is, we had this little conversation, and I think I hit upon the problem is that it's because we're not at Upton Park. Because when the football was shit at Upton Park, we still had Upton Park. We still had the match day. We still had the surroundings that we loved, right? In the London Stadium, it's so fucking important. It is the most important thing to get entertainment on the pitch to make up for the surroundings. Because if you haven't got one, you haven't got the other. You've got nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no atmosphere. No one likes the ground. And if no one likes the team, there is literally nothing to hold. I mean, this is a masterstroke by that board getting us moved into that stadium. They could have taken the piss out of us for years at Upton Park. But then moved in here, and suddenly it's very important that the team looks good and does well.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is. There needs to be something. And I've said this many times, Gal. The thing that I look forward to most during games now is not actually the game. It's
going home.
Yeah, well, probably not even that, but just, I think, honestly, just chatting to people and just fans and this, that, and the other. That's what I enjoy. And I could probably have a conversation for 90 minutes without even watching the game and be more entertained. That's kind of what it's come to.
Yeah, I'll do that. And that's another attraction to the Prawn Sandwich Brigade, right? Is because it's literally a social. That's what it is. It ain't really about going to football. Yeah, you go out, you watch the game in nice seats, but to be honest, then you go in and have a beer. It's not it's a completely different experience. It's much more sociable. And I think with a game like this, like that Leicester game that you hated, that home win, I had quite a nice night because I was just having a nice chat with people, right? And I think that's important. You got to have some sort of distraction, haven't you?
Yeah, well, you have to. I mean, yeah, definitely you have to, because certainly you're not being distracted by what you're watching on the pitch. So you need distractions around you. You need conversations around you, because otherwise, I mean, imagine you didn't talk to anyone during the game and you're just watching that pile of shit every.
If you went on your own, and you didn't know anybody and you turned up and you just watched that for 90 minutes after traveling a fair distance.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be inclined not to go back, wouldn't you?
I think you'd be going through a bout of depression if you were doing that. Honestly, I do. Honestly, I've seen it. I mean, we've all seen it. I've looked around, and there are a lot of people that go on their own for various reasons. I know. And I look at them and I think, God, how do you manage this?
They've got more. They've got something more than I've got. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. No. And again, I admire people who do that, because they've just got. Their sort of love of West Ham is on another level, right? To mine. Mine has always been around going with people and it being a bit of a social event or seeing family or whatever else.
Of course.
It's never been a thing of going on my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I admire people who do that. So April 1st, no transfer talk, please. That's Jonathan David again. Is he back in the news yet? They trying to sell season tickets?
Well, he is, mate, because hardly any season tickets were renewed prior, to the March 31st deadline for the 3-point additional allocation, and
So
the ability to get 2 additional season tickets if you want for your mates.
Four season tickets renewed. 2, you did 2, I did 2.
Yeah, just me and you, mate. Yeah.
We're the stars. We are. We're
I don't know why. I don't know why I did it, mate. Don't know why I did it.
No, I don't either. I don't know. No. It was like a peak of I did stupidity, really. I don't know. It's a 3 points, wasn't it? After there's a freebie. Yeah, and the thing is, next season is so pivotal for me because it's my 50th season going to watch games live. If it's the same as it, listen, that's like a milestone for me, right? That's a milestone. That's a long time paying, traveling to games and all that shit. And next season, something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. We cannot have another wasted season like this because it's been deliberately wasted by Sullivan, hasn't it? He's put that twat in, that Lopetegui. He was never the right fit. You know, he allowed, him, Stuyton and Lopetegui to pick players. That was never going to work, was it? It was never going to work. Then he's waited as long as he could to run down the transfer window so that Potter can't get any money. And he's given him a broken striker who's no use to man or beast. Potter comes in. He's not the kind of, he talks about playing attacking football. Turns out he has no clue how to play attacking football. So it's all right talking about it, but you can't do it. That's a different thing, isn't it? And then now we're just running the clock down. We're just running the clock down, literally, because we know in summer there's going to be massive, massive changes again, And it wasn't just the it wasn't just the ground at Upton Park. It was everything around it. Everyone had been going there their whole lives, right? Everyone knew it. It was home from home. No matter what happened in your personal lives, Upton Park was always there, right? Always.
Well, it was an escapism, Gal, right? Because I always look at football at the weekend as an escapism from maybe a crap week I've had at work or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Going to football was, I could switch off. I could always switch off. Here I can't because you know what? Because the games are so boring. I'm still probably thinking about work during the week. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
That is genuinely how bad it is. But when you used to go to Upton Park, I used to go down East Down. I used to go to my grandparents' house to get, all these little things that I had in place in and around the area, going down the Barking Road, grabbing a pie mash. That's gone. It's gone. And I know we do say this a lot. We do, but I can't help but keep saying it because I miss it so much. And look, I'm going to go back to what I really want today, okay? Because I said this already, is I know the season's dead. I just want to see the players fighting for that fucking badge, like so badly. Like they should go out there like their life depends on it. I don't care if the season is dead, right? It's an absolute privilege to play for West Ham. It is. Every one of those players are so damn lucky to play for West Ham. Now go out there with pride and fight for the fucking fans because we turn up week in, week out. We do not deserve to be served up this shit that we're seeing every week. We don't. No. And it angers me so much. We put in so many miles to go and see West Ham play all the time. We are the only constant. But sadly, level of performances, the only constant there is shit performances. And it's got to change. Honestly, it bothers me so much because I want to see that fight. I was speaking to Tony Cottee at half time at the Wolves game, right? And he was pissed off. Like he was genuinely pissed off. And he weren't having Guilherme. He goes, I'm just not having him. Having him. He goes, he's just not the player. And, again, I don't want to sound like I'm picking up players here, but a lot of people have been going on about Guilherme. I know you have and everything else, but maybe there is a player there with ability. But you've got to question why he doesn't play games, Gal, because it's not just under Lopetegui or as Potter as well. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be something in that. I'm sorry, there's got to be.
He's a player, Chris, who, if you look at his background, all he did was make substitute appearances for a very good Brazilian side.
Yeah.
And what would have been the case there is he would have come on when the other side was tiring and used his pace to run at them. They would have given him the ball and let him run at them. He wouldn't have been defending, would he? He wouldn't have been defending. And then you start him in a game out of position on the left-hand side and ask him to defend as well as attack. I mean, it just ain't going to work. I mean, you cannot develop a player's game in Premier League games. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Gal, but I also do believe that a player with that type of ability to command a place in a Premier League team should be able to put in a better performance than he did. Right? I know he's been played in, an unorthodox position on the left, but actually he has played that position before, Gal. But he was drifting into the middle, so he was almost playing as a left-sided central midfield player for a lot of that game. But my issue with Guilherme is, I know he didn't get a great deal of the ball, but when he did get the ball, he didn't do a great deal with it. I think he had one moment where he tried to take on the fullback. Right, there was an attacking moment down the left-hand side. One moment during the first 45 minutes of that game. It's not enough. But it's not just him. It's across the board. The midfield was terrible. James Ward-Prowse, honestly, mate, it's like watching a 5-year-old running around on a pitch, watching Sunday League football, watching kids football. That's what it was like. He was second to everything. His passing was awful. There was nothing.
He really irritated me. It
was awful, mate. He was absolutely awful. And I mean, a lot of people saying, we improved the second half. I mean, yeah, we did a little bit, but Christ almighty, is that what we're clinging on to here? Because I didn't see that much of an improvement, if I'm being honest. I didn't. I just thought, Wolves were the better team. Yeah. But yet, sadly, I still do believe in my heart of hearts, I think we've got a better squad of players, but we just don't know how to use them.
I do. But I think we've got a squad of individuals. We don't have a team. That's the difference.
No, we don't. They look like they've never played together before, some of these guys. Yeah. They do.
And this is where someone like Fulkrug, a seasoned campaigner, will come in and cut through the shit and try to make something happen. So it could be the worst game in the world today. But if you give Fulkrug, get him into a little bit of space or give him a half chance, he'll hurt them, right? He will. He don't care that they're fucking Bournemouth and no one cares that they're Bournemouth. What does that mean?
He ain't a bad striker, Gal. No. He's not a bad striker. He lacks certain things that maybe are considered to be crucial in the Premier League, like pace, for instance. Yeah. But he can finish. He's good in the air. Physically, he's good. He just has not had enough time on the pitch. So I think it is a bit unfair to judge him. I mean, honestly, I had a couple of bellends sitting behind me at the Wolves game, and they were like literally digging into him. As soon as he came on, he's a load of crap.
This is the thing.
Like, come on, do you know what I mean? Like,
I wish people had judged players on their merits rather than on what they do and what they deliver. Because the other night, you're right to have a go at Ward-Prowse. He was crap. Yeah. And you're right to, to say that Bowen didn't have a fucking good game. Don't know what's happened to Bowen. But you can't possibly, Fulkrug, the last time I saw him play when he got injured at Villa, he was really brilliant for about.
We were at that game, weren't we? He looked decent. Him and Somerville were our best players. And I just want to kind of address this comment here from Open Water. Are we blaming Potter for changing it up? Do you know, so this is the thing, right? I think with the situation and with Potter is that he's done a job defensively, as we all know. He has done, so we are conceding less goals, but it's been to sacrifice our attack completely, nullify our attack. So I do blame Potter in that respect, because there's got to be a balance here. There needs to be a balance. And I think he needs to figure out what games he plays 5 at the back versus what teams he plays 4 at the back. And today is a prime example where he should go out and play 4 at the back. We're playing at home. We need to play on the front foot. We've got our attacking players back. Don't know about Kudus, but we need to go for it. So I just don't think there's no point playing Guilherme, no point playing Bo. No, if you're going to literally play backwards, sideways in our first third of the pitch, what's the point? There is no point doing that. No point.
I know. I totally agree with that. So what team are you going for today? Just tell me a team off the top of your head. What are you going to go for?
Off the top of my head, and again, I don't know the injury situation with Kudus, but if it's just Somerville out, then I'd probably play a flat back 4. I would most likely, in truth, I'd probably play Emerson at left back. I didn't think Scholes was great the other day. AWB obviously by default goes in at right back, and then for me, Kilman to Debo. That's the flat back 4, obviously with Alfonso in goal. Midfield, I would play a holding midfielder in Alvarez. I'd probably play 2 in front of him, being Paqueta, Souček. I'd probably play Bowen on the right. Kudus, if he's fit, on the left, or if he's not fit, then probably Guilherme, and I play Fulkrug up front. So those 2 in the middle, you essentially got 3 in the middle, like you said, but one holding in Alvarez, but also given the license for Paqueta to roam a little bit further forward and kind of support for Fulkrug, but also the ability to get Bowen and Kudus or Guilherme, pushing up the flanks and cutting inside a bit more. But we can only do that if we play a flat back 4. That's just off the top of my head.
Souček, Alvarez, Paquetá in the middle, and you'd have Kudus and or Guilherme.
I'd still play Guilherme. Yeah, I would still play Guilherme.
The thing is with this, right, is when you throw a young 18-year-old kid in an unfamiliar position away to Wolves, a tough physical team, and he's only got a kid behind him, right?
Yeah.
You're not dealing him a good hand, are you? Right. So I'm not saying he's a good player. I don't know if he's a good player. Nobody does. But he's not going to flourish in that environment. That's for sure.
No.
So it didn't really
Yeah,
surprise
no.
me that he had a bad game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you, but I still think it's not just based off of Tuesday's game. It's based off of this season. The fact he's played so little, it just makes you wonder.
I think I think you got to grab your chances with both hands. But again, what are the chances of impacting that game? What chances did he add to impact that game the other night? Probably not a lot. We weren't getting forward in numbers. We weren't giving him the ball to run onto to use his pace. The once he could use his pace, he ran against a defender and they backed right off him. And he found Bowen with a decent ball, didn't he? The thing I worry about him really is where's his confidence at?
Well, he's probably got very little confidence because people aren't necessarily thinking that he's good enough or warrants a place in the team.
Yeah, and that gets to a point where whenever you put on the pitch, you either go into your shell, which I think you pretty much did the other night, or you try too hard.
Yeah, what's this comment here? Who the fuck, right? I'm trying to think what Vulcan.
On a light-hearted note, Chris looks like an old character from the Star Trek series. Oh, fuck off. Sorry. I didn't realise it was an insult, Chris. Right.
Fuck. My ears are the smallest. Look at my ears. They're tight. You couldn't get smaller ears than these. I can barely hear.
I inadvertently put an insult up for you, Chris. Sorry.
I don't care.
I literally can't see this fucking screen. Where's our high press gone? Well, the other night, our high press existed, I don't know if you noticed, for 2.5 minutes at the start of the game. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I do remember that. I got excited for that first 2 minutes. Yeah, I do remember it.
And poured forward, Guillaume did. Even Ward Prowse had a go. And then suddenly, back we go. Deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, I know.
It was not good. But do you think Potter is telling them not to press forward? He pushed for Fergie. I can't see him then telling the midfield not to pass. It makes sense. No, I think his priorities are defence and holding onto the ball, and I think I don't know how he transitions that into attack, because I honestly couldn't tell you from watching a game of football, because it seems to be make it up as you go along. So no, I don't think they're doing that. I mean, they were lumping it at one point lump it up to the big man, same style. I don't like that either. I don't like lump it up to the big man. I fucking hate it.
But I'll tell you what though, if it works, then I don't mind it at times during games. But Ferguson can't hold the ball up
for us without Andy Carroll.
Yeah, but exactly. Well, Ferguson can't hold the ball up.
Sorry, Steve. I can't even read what's in front
of me. He says it wasn't an insult. It was an insult. I remember what Vulcan looked like. That's an insult, Steve. Honestly, Vulcan.
Yeah,
you
Steve,
seen him?
Jesus Chris, Christ. Even though I can't read what the insult may or may not have been.
That.
Sorry, I got the wrong glasses on. That's a big problem. Sorry. Anyway, if you insulted him, bad.
Yeah, carry on.
Honestly, Channing's one of the best. Yeah, especially when I wear the right glasses, I read the fucking comments. You know what I mean? Tippy crippy. What's that? Tippy crippy. Tippy crappy.
Tippy crappy football. Yeah, that's about right. Gotcha. Yeah, it is. But no, the thing that you talk about the midfield and not passing to the forwards, and obviously there's that lack of creativity in midfield. Of course there is, but I don't understand the thinking and the logic behind not playing Alvarez. Yeah. Because surely you need someone that can defend rather than saying, right, I'm going to play JWP and Paqueta. Yeah. What the fuck's that all about? I mean, so what is that all about? You're literally asking for that midfield to dominate, like the opposing team to dominate, which they did. They did do that. So I don't understand why he would do that. Which for me, Alvarez has to be a mainstay in this system because he's the only defensive-minded midfielder that we have. He is.
Yeah, he's the best central defensive midfielder we've got, bar none. The trouble is, he's got weaknesses. You've got to have other players with him. He's got to just be given a job to do. You've noticed that, right? You've got to be given a job to do. If you play him on the left side of that's what Potter's been doing. He's been playing on the left side. He's been playing right. You watch that man, and you watch that overlapping fullback or that fullback there, and that is a simple job. Everything's in front of him, and that's absolutely fine. I think Ward Prowse plays exactly the same way. When he's got a predefined job and a man to mark, he'll probably do it. But if you ask them to do something a little bit more intelligent and be adaptable and be able to see what's happening behind them, and if that happens, then do this. If that doesn't happen, then do this. They can't do that. They can't cope with multiple instructions. That's what I think.
Do you know the thing that's kind of really frustrating me with Ward-Prowse is his set pieces are actually woeful at this moment
rubbish.
In time.
Yeah, short corners the other night, Chris. What was that about?
The one I sent you. Stupidly, I was one of those tourists at that particular moment. I thought, I'll see if I can get a goal here. Let's see if I can film a goal. So we had a corner, one of our very few moments that were in their third of the pitch. And short corner, Ward-Prowse plays it to Guilherme. Guilherme lays it back off to JWP, who then swings it in, and it literally is hitting the geezer's midriff. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean,
one of his corners. Bad. You know, the video clips didn't come out right the other night because bloody restream delays everything by 2 seconds. So we're going to let this one play, right? This is a prime example of one who's fucking beautiful. This one.
Yeah, have you got the one that I sent you? That's even better. I didn't
download it. Sorry, I was
oh man, it's like it's worse than schoolboy football, mate.
Yeah, but that was just bad. The quality, wasn't it? That was the quality of his set pieces all night. They were just shit, weren't they?
I mean, honestly, this whole Beckham record thing, I think he's playing on his head, mate. I do.
Sid, we've been crying out for an athletic midfielder since David Moyes refused to take Fofana. Still remember that, don't we? That was probably the biggest mistake that a manager has made or not made in the transfer market. We've needed it for ages. You know, we're still missing Declan Rice. Let's face it, we're still missing Declan Rice.
Yeah,
the midfield has been largely shit since he left. We've been vulnerable. They're running for us. Teams were just running for us last year, weren't they? Straight at Zuma.
But I do think though that the way that we've been playing, okay, so from a formation point of view, playing 2 holding midfielders has been a massive downfall to that midfield because we don't need to do that when we've got Alvarez that can play in that CDM role and 2 further advance than him. That's what we need to do, but we don't do that. We play a lot of this double pivot nonsense so frequently, whether it's Souček, Alvarez, Souček, JWP, Souček out. I don't know why we do it. It's pathetic.
Obsidian. That, I mean, when people say stuff like that, you just got to wonder how much football do they watch.
Yeah,
we're playing there is no such thing as a bad team in the Premier League. Even the ones that are down the bottom struggling and will get relegated, they're better than what will be in the Championship, right? They'll probably come back up again. You cannot just switch off against any team, and that's equivalent to switching off and it's saying, "Oh, no defensive midfielder." I mean, really?
Oh no, you need it. I think you definitely need it.
People treat football like FIFA, right? They think. I got this set of players, therefore I will beat this set of players. Just don't, But
play players to their strengths, though, Gal, and that's what we don't do. That is what we honestly. That fundamentally one of the biggest issues that we've had at West Ham for a good while now is we do not play certain players to their strengths. We don't.
So I think let's call this a day now because it's nearly time to go to the game. Right. I agree with your selection. That is what I would go for too. Absolutely. Fulkrug must start. And unfortunately, we're looking for individual magic from either Kudus or Paqueta or Bowen or Fulkrug. Yeah. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I think they all need to step it up a bit anyway. I thought Bowen was pretty poor the other night. He needs to start kind of leading as a captain. He does. Showing example on the pitch.
What are you going for? I'm going 1-1. What are you going for?
I'm going to go. I'll try and back West Ham. I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham. I don't see a lot of goals in this one.
You're so positive. Bloody hell, you're so positive. Such an
I'm not. I'm just. I don't want to go to the game thinking we've already lost it. That's not good, is it?
You know, I'm a bit, superstitious, right? I'm unbeaten in the prawn sandwiches. I'm beaten, right? And this is I'm going hospitality again. We ain't getting beat. I know that much.
Whereabouts you sitting this time? Is it
pretty much just behind the bench?
I'll see if I can spot you, mate. I'll see if I can spot you.
It's about in your hand. It's about. There's a section, right? There's a section like that, and then you got the dugouts in the middle.
Yeah.
That central section, it's kind of top as you look at it, about 10 rows back on the right hand side. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll have a look out. I'll just see if I can sniff out any prawn sandwiches and see if I can find you.
Bloody hell! What someone said here? What you've been smoking? But you have 3-0 to us. That caravan's doing something to your head. Don't know what it is. Yeah.
3-0.
I would introduce Lewis Halford. You know what? A lot of people would. He came on earlier in the season, actually did all right, but sadly got slated by a few people in the ground, a few idiots.
Oh, there are a lot of muppets.
Oh,
I mean, there really
are
are.
people who know fuck all about football, or they just like to go along and have a bitch.
Yeah, that's it. Honestly, that is genuinely it. I hear it so frequently. I mean, the Wolves game the other day really annoyed me. Honestly, it was just it's embarrassing, mate. Sometimes it's just embarrassing.
I love a prawn sandwich, me. Love it.
You are changing a bit, though, mate. I hope this isn't becoming a regular feature.
I am. I'm becoming one of the elite, one of the footballing elite. There's someone said yesterday, actually, talking of fish. That's just loosely related. I was talking to.
Yeah, sorry, just real quickly. Bodger's already scored, and he's in your caravan, mate.
Well done, Bodger. I was talking to someone yesterday on Teams call, and he said, "Oh fucking hell, I've got a fishy smelling keyboard now." He's eating a tuna sandwich, and on a Teams call, got a bit of tuna on his hand, and he started typing. Now his keyboard smells of fish.
Oh yeah, no, that ain't good.
Talking of smelling of fish. Hold on. Anyway, popping champagne corks. No, I was doing that the other night, actually. But I shall return to my roots in the next game.
Yeah, we'll see about that, mate.
People and where I come from, you know.
Who's next? Who we got next at home after Bournemouth? Is it Spurs?
I ain't got a clue. I ain't looked. I don't care.
We just literally take it game by game. It takes game by game. The suffering's too much to look too far ahead.
Don't want to look ahead to the other disappointments. I'll tell you what, though. Spurs got beat at Chelsea the other night. Expressions was having a meltdown. They want Postecoglou out. So look, it ain't been. I'm a new age man. Yeah, I am.
So we got it's Bournemouth at home next. Then the next home game after that is Southampton, and then it's Spurs. But in between that, we've also got Brighton and Liverpool. We've got a tough run of games coming up, actually.
But after today, we're away to Man United as well. They're a winnable game there, right?
That's 5 games away. I mean, look, if you look at
Chris, Liverpool would have wrapped up title by then. They'll be on their trophy. They'll be on their lap of honour, won't they?
All right. So just a quick one before we go. Right, Bournemouth today. You're saying we're going to get a point. We've got Liverpool the week after. We ain't going to get nothing out of that. Then we've got Southampton at home, which in theory, we should be expecting.
We're gonna win that. We're gonna win that 1-0.
Well, yeah, maybe. Then we've got Brighton away, which notoriously
we're gonna get slaughtered there.
Yeah, and then we've got Spurs at home, which actually I kind of fancy.
I think we'll beat Spurs. I think
Spurs. But again, you're looking at 4. I don't know, 5 or 7 points out of the next 5 games. Pretty.
It always cheers people up when we beat Spurs, but you know. It's squatter on the beach. This is my worry. My worry, Roger.
It all comes down to whether or not we can score a fucking goal. That's what it comes down to, Gal.
I know. Anyway, look, we did 40 minutes. We just about got on because we got up late. Aching legs.
No, you got up late. I didn't get up late. I got up early.
I got up late. I've been aching legs, jet wash. Anyway, look, enjoy the game. Let's fucking hope we enjoy the game. Please, let's enjoy the game today. And I think we've decided if we win, we'll do a show tonight. If we don't win, we'll do a show tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Then,
talking about this game again. If it's
miserable. I can't. It's just too much, mate. Yeah. So we'll see you all tomorrow then. In that case.
Yeah.
There's the optimism for you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah.
See you later.